views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail.
Hi, listeners. My name is Claire Candy Hough, and I am honored having been asked to fill in and host the Dr. Pat Show for today. And today's invitation is beautifully timed as I'll be taking my 5-year weekly Angel Healing House radio program, which was formerly on Blog Talk Radio, and I'll be presenting it on its new home of Transformation Talk Radio, which will be starting next week on January the 3rd, 2017, and it can be heard every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Now, for those who may not be familiar with who Claire Candy Hough is, I'd like to share a little bit about myself. Through my beautiful business, Angel Healing House, which can be found at angelhealinghouse.com. I'm a writer and an author, an international radio host, a Reiki Master teacher, and an angel practitioner. My inspirational books, which are entitled Angels Are Safe and One True Home Behind the Veil of Forgetfulness, and also my recently released autobiography, I Am an Angelic Walk-In. They're all based on my recollections of our life in spirit, and they help us to reconnect and remember our divine, eternal natures. Through Angel Healing House, I help people to let go of sadness, anger, bitterness, resentment, and regret that has kept them locked in the prison of the past and kept them merely reacting to life. I help to let them go of worry, stress, and control, which has kept them focused on an imagined future, on things that haven't happened and probably won't happen. And once they are no longer living in the past or the future, they can start to live in the only moment that is available to live in, which is the nanosecond of the now. For it's only in the present moment where synchronicities, miracles, and magic can occur. Now, as an angel practitioner, I help people to rise above their lives, to see it from a higher perspective, to clearly see the negative patterns and destructive habits that have caused them to sabotage and limit their beautiful lives. I do this with the help of a very large, extraordinary group of angels who call themselves the Posse of Angels. They have a very funny sense of humor. They're extremely loving and compassionate, and they give very down-to-earth practical advice that people can very easily translate to create bliss and joy, balance, and peace in their lives. So just like my angelic family, the Posse of Angels, I am very excited to take some of your phone calls for free angel readings. You can call into the show on this number, 1-800-930-2819. Again, that number is 1-800-930-2819. But before we get to those callers, for those who may not be familiar with my Angel Healing House radio program, it always starts with channeled messages from the Posse of Angels on a topic that they wish to speak about. And that's the way the show starts. And today's topic is entitled, Paint an Amazing New Portrait for Your Life in 2017. So here we are, listeners, on December 28th, with only 3 days left of 2016, and with the new year on the horizon, Some of us are actually feeling that anything is possible as we begin a brand new year. Now, there's just a reminder that 2017 coming up is numerologically a 1 year. Now, what does that mean? You take the 2, the 1, and the 7 in 2017, and you add them together, and it creates a number 1. And the energies of a number 1 are all about fresh starts and new beginnings. With the closing of this year, many people make promises that next year will be different. You know, things like different for relationships, different for careers, different for perhaps health regimes. And yet, just because a new year dawns, we may not have any more clarity as to how we're actually going to make those different things a reality for ourselves. You know, through my business, Angel Healing House, I've helped clients transform their view of life, and with this newfound change, their realities start to change. You know, if you'd like to create a different life for yourself in 2017, do remember that you cannot create a new life with the same old tools that did not work last year. If you need some new tools, and if you need some angelically channeled messages for creating your new life, you can always call me at Angel Healing House after the show on this number, 831-277-3716, or visit angelhealinghouse.com. You know, your new life is really waiting for you to step forward, but you got to make that first step towards manifesting it into reality. So what is it about the new year that triggers many of us to long to close doors on the old year and get excited about the brand new year ahead? And with so many celebrity deaths, artists, with Prince and David Bowie, and just recently George Michael and the beloved Carrie Fisher, I know that many people are excited about seeing the back end of 2016. With the beginning of a new year, well, it gets us excited because the slate is clean. Nothing's been written or recorded on it yet. Even before some of us are singing Old Lang Syne and are raising our champagne glasses, the approaching new year, it stirs up a sense of renewal, this feeling of leaving the past behind and embracing the new, brought to mind a wonderful childhood memory. As a little girl, I remember growing up on a farm in Virginia and watching Mother Nature come alive in the spring after a long frozen winter. On one of my walks through the countryside, I heard a bird chirping, and as I looked up, I watched this little bird excitedly dart back and forth over a nest. Suddenly, I saw another bird peek over the side of the nest and quickly pull its head back out of sight. I watched with curiosity as the little bird performed the same action, peeking over the side and then pulling its head back. And all of a sudden, the bird in the nest seemed to throw itself out of the nest, and it began to plummet to the ground. When miraculously, halfway down, this tiny bird instinctively spread his wings and glided to the earth. You know, I sat transfixed at the deep knowing that that little creature had demonstrated, for it knew that it had grown much too big for the nest. But the thought of leaving the comfort and the security of its home was absolutely terrifying. With the feeling that it was his time to leave, well, along with his parents' urging, he leapt forth. And it was only after he had leapt from his familiar but restricted nest that he could spread his wings fully, and he suddenly remembered how to fly. This memory made me think about all the things that we've outgrown in our lives, that are restricting us. The things or people that are now energetically expired, as if they're past their use-by dates, as they are no longer serving us anymore for our absolute highest good. With the new year approaching, it's a great time to consider what we can finally let go of. And in this way, we can be clear enough to truly start to paint the most inspired, magnificent portrait of our lives. So, listeners, I just want you to imagine that you are standing before an easel and you're preparing to paint this most magnificent portrait for your life in 2017. Needing art supplies, you go downstairs into a dark, damp, cluttered basement, and you start to search through the dusty, mildewed boxes for your old paints and your old brushes. Now, after brushing away the cobwebs and perhaps shooing away the mice and the spiders, you finally come across your art supplies, and you take them upstairs into the light of day. Opening your old box of paint, you see that the cakes of paint have worn thin, and they are cracked, and there are splotches of hardened paint caked on your painting palette. Excuse me. You then open the rusted clasp of your case holding your brushes. You see that the brushes are thin, and they've lost most of their bristles, and they're bent and misshapen. Well, suddenly, your enthusiasm for creating what is new and fresh is somewhat dampened by using old, energetically tired, and worn-out supplies. And while the past year saw many of us rummaging around in our basements and our attics of our lives to really assess those things and people that were not serving us for our highest good anymore, the new year is a great opportunity to allow ourselves to use a new set of paints. And that new set of paints is our new outlook to help us create our masterpiece. But when we've decided to paint that masterpiece, it is very important to not fall into the same old ways of painting that we chose when we painted our former lives. And the Posse of Angels have a bit of a checklist for us here to see if we are ready to paint a brand new life for ourselves. Now, number one, they're saying, make sure that you choose colors that are infused with love and light, brightness and radiance. For instance, in my former life, before my angelic walk-in experience, which I had in 2003, which, by the way, I speak about in my biography, I am an angelic walk-in. In that former life, there was so much fear. There was so much low self-worth and sabotage. I chose a limited set of colors that were dark, excuse me, and I mainly used grays and browns and blacks to express myself. Now, choosing to paint a very different portrait of my life these past 13 years, I started with a new easel, new paints and brushes, which were my new attitude, my open heart to receive, my ability to let go of what was not serving me, and my absolute faith in co-creating with God and the angels. My new colored choices were therefore light-filled, and as such, they excitedly laughed and giggled, and they skipped along while positively illuminating the paper with an infectious vibrancy. So even though you may purchase a new easel for yourself, there is a caution here to not paint with the same colors that you might have used to paint a previous life, a life in which you may not have been honoring and respecting yourself as to who you are. Now, number two, the Posse of Angels' second tip when it comes to painting our masterpiece is that they wish for us to give ourselves the freedom and the unrestricted flow in our painting. When I painted my former life, I was so careful. I was so very careful to not color outside of the lines. My hands and my arms were restricted by the programming, by the belief systems of the shoulds and the have-tos of other people telling me how I should paint. This restriction of my life force energy had me so afraid of making a mistake that it stopped the ease and the grace and the flow of the creative force within inside of me. When painting, the Posse of Angels are reminding us, please allow ourselves to be vulnerable, to express ourselves with unbridled abandonment, without any constrictions. They wish for us to put our emphasis on the adventure and the passion of creating, not so much on what the final outcome looks like. And in this way, we will allow ourselves to experience our full joy of expression. They're also reminding us that there is no right, and there's certainly no wrong, and there's no competition. Excuse me. When it comes to painting a new life, they wish for us to take our vision off of the final product, which is the future, and to put all of our focus on the present moment to paint in. For it's the journey to be present only in what I call the nanosecond of the now, that we can utilize all the limitless potential and the magic that the universe has for us to access. Now, before we go on to find out more painting tips from the Posse of Angels on how we can all paint the most amazing portrait of our lives in the new year of 2017, for those who might have tuned in a bit late and are wondering why Dr. Pat sounds so different, it's because you're listening to me, Claire Candy Hough, Reiki Master Teacher, Angel Practitioner, and I'm sitting in for Dr. Pat today, who is taking a well-deserved break. Now, just a quick reminder that my longtime weekly Angel Healing House radio program will be settling into a new home on Transformation Talk Radio next week, and it can be heard every Tuesday at 9 a.m., that's Pacific Standard Time, and that's starting on January the 3rd. If you'd like to contact me for intuitive counseling, life-changing Reiki sessions, angel readings, either in my Los Angeles office or nationally and internationally using phone or Skype, for us to purchase my remarkable channeled books, please do visit Angel Healing House website at angelhealinghouse.com, or you could call after the show on 831-277-3716. You can always email me at Candy, C-A-N-D-Y, at angelhealinghouse.com. So let's get back to those helpful painting tips from the Posse of Angels when it comes to painting that magnificent new portrait for our life in 2017. They mentioned previously to choose paints that were light and bright and are reflective of a world of radiance. They also mentioned not to hold yourself back and to not be afraid of coloring outside of those lines and not restricting ourselves with the shoulds and the have-tos of what others think, as they wish for us to follow our own intuitions, our heaven-sent voice within, when it comes to creating our lives. So here's number 3. The number 3 tip is to give ourselves permission to create from our hearts. When I started to create from my heart 13 years ago, after my angelic walk-in experience, I noticed that my whole perspective in my painting, as well as all aspects of my life, started to brighten and shift. With my newfound ability to communicate through my art, I communicated with enthusiasm, with freedom, and I also noticed that I was allowing myself to communicate authentically, honestly, openly, and certainly without apology. By changing my perspective, my whole life became an adventure of my own beautiful creation, as there were no prescribed ways to live. Because of my new creative freedom, I suddenly became totally open to receive, as though my arms were thrown wide open to embrace all the limitless magical possibilities that the universe could miraculously conjure up to fulfill my wishes and my desires. It was at that point that I felt like the little bird in my story, which I related at the beginning of the program, who leapt forth, and he leapt forward from the confines of his 2 small nests, and he was then able to spread his wings, and he flew. By giving myself freedom to create my own life, I too felt like I had allowed myself to fly. So just take a moment to look back on the different areas of your life in 2016, your relationships, your careers, your health, self-worth. Reflect on which areas of your life can be brightened and can be lightened in 2017. Now, perhaps we can lighten our lives by adding more kindness, for no other reason but just to be kind to others. We can brighten our days by certainly finding areas which we can be more tolerant, more patient, more accepting, and more forgiving. We can add illumination to our world. It's amazing how this can help us by being less judgmental, by allowing ourselves to drop worn-out ways of reacting to things, and letting go of expectation and to the attachment as to what our lives should look like in order for us to open to receive limitless possibilities and to invite miracles to enter into our lives. My angelic family, the Posse of Angels, wants us to realize that when it comes to creating a new life for ourselves, as we are all divine and limitless, we can substitute the analogy of using old paints for all sorts of outdated things in our lives. In fact, the Posse of Angels is saying that with this grand shift in the consciousness of our beloved planet, the higher, clear energies that we are now carrying will be far-reaching. So don't be surprised if these higher energies within you seem to be magically clearing and cleansing. They're showing me a big broom sweeping people from your life that are no longer in alignment for the highest representation of who you are now. And they're saying that this is being done for a very important reason. This is being done in order for all of us to be presented to the planet in our full glory in 2017. Listeners, it has been a very long road for many of us who have held light for the planet, and it's a great time in 2017 for us to finally see those rewards for all our diligence to the ascension of our earth. Now, to get us ready for the amazing and highest authentic representation of ourselves in this new year, God and the angels gave us all kinds of opportunities in 2016 to finally and fully address certain dishonoring relationships and situations that we still needed to have closure on, for them to be brought back into divine alignment. And what do they mean by that? What do the Posse of Angels mean by divine alignment? And when they say divine alignment, they mean to be brought back into nothing less than unconditional love and forgiveness, no matter who it is and for no matter what happened. Many of my clients have shared with me that old family wounds and hurts surfaced for them once again to finally release old triggers and negative emotions so that they can be clear to begin afresh in 2017. Many of us are going to be presented with fresh starts and new beginnings, and we wouldn't want to drag those old unresolved energies into those things that we want to be squeaky clean in our energies, and for them to be of the highest resonance, to be able to take them into those new projects and things that we'll be experiencing in that 1 year. The Posse of Angels is saying that the ending of these relationships and situations were not a mistake at all, as we contracted for these people to be in our lives, to teach us something, or for us to help them learn their lessons. And that in many cases, the opportunities that will manifest because of these associations will be presented to us later on. And if our opportunities do not come directly from these people, then our soul has had a tremendous growth because of these connections. The Posse of Angels are actually saying that all will be revealed for us to allow God's divine timing and grace to work magic in our lives. They're also saying that many of us who have been awakened and living conscious lives of awareness felt like we were being held back, waiting for the world to shift. Well, that time has come, and we're ready to be seen, perceived, and heard as we take our voices and our passion out into the world. They're saying that those of us who have been diligent and have faith to build strong foundations of who we are, we will then see the extraordinary synchronicities, magic, and miracles that will manifest for us. But the Posse of Angels is cautioning us that with this knowledge and the excited feeling, do not try to force anything happening in your life. There'll be much time for attending to the fulfillment of your dreams and your wishes, and there'll be plenty of time for that. We are also in a Mercury retrograde, which has us reviewing, and it's a great time for reviewing and re-evaluating our lives. So, please do not forget that each and every one of us has an integral puzzle piece of the planet to contribute to the kindness, to the love, harmony, and the unity and peace of our world. Every one of us plays an extraordinary part, and that is why you chose to incarnate at this momentous time. And if you've not liked the portrait of your life that you painted, well, the Posse of Angels is sharing with us one more suggestion. You can always go out, buy those new paints, and you can always have the ability to paint a new life for yourself. You are listening to me, obviously not Dr. Pat, but Claire Candy Hough, Reiki Master, teacher, angel practitioner, and host of Angel Healing House Radio, soon to be on my new home of Transformation Talk Radio next week, Tuesday at 9 a.m. starting on January the 3rd, 2017. And when we come back after this upcoming break, I would love to take calls from listeners who would like to receive heaven-sent insight messages from the Posse of Angels and myself. So we'll go to that break, and I'll see you on the flip side.
Tune in to Mainstream Metaphysics Radio to harness your connection with the universe to effect change for optimal success and happiness. Named one of the country's top psychics, Eve now brings her insights and gifts to this weekly hit call-in show, joined by visionaries, leaders, and gifted others, but mostly you. Jot it down. Thursdays, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
What is a brilliant culture? And how do we create them? Why are they important? Claudette Rowley has created a breakthrough 5-step process to help you design a culture that is authentic, innovative, and successful. Learn how to create change with Cultural Brilliance Radio, the DNA of organizational excellence, and Claudette Rowley. To learn more or work with Claudette, visit ClaudetteRowley.com.
Are you sick of feeling overworked with no motivation? Take a break from the daily grind. Life coach Nicole Eisler is here to provide a healing journey of optimism. Passionate and caring, Nicole is no ordinary soul. Her dedication to helping everyone has no limit. Witness the power of positivity. Tune in every first and third Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific for Positivity Party Radio with Nicole Eisler on Transformation Talk Radio. For more information, visit BigDreamAwakening.com.
Chris Stanis is a spiritual leader and healer and teaches a course on how you can transform your life through a meditation and healing system that will manifest your spirit's dreams. She manifested the Women of Wisdom Conference, the Women of Wisdom book, and this radio show. And she can show you how to change your life too. Are you ready? Visit the website and contact her at voicesofwomentoday.com. That's voicesofwomentoday.com.
Would you like to experience life-transforming adventures in personal expansion and world service? If you do, tune in to learn about magical innate abilities that you can develop and use to make your dreams come true. Joy Elaine is author of the Joy Chronicles, and she's inviting you and millions of others to join her in working with galactic masters, angels, and the Ashtar Command as they assist humanity and planet Earth to achieve their ultimate destination of ascension. For more information about this upcoming event and broadcast, visit joyelaine.com. That's joy, ELAINE.com.
Tune in to Dynamics of Diversity Radio, scripting the new narrative for immigration with leading experts Kripa Upadhyaya and Steve Tanijo on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This show will remove the noise that often accompanies discussions on this topic and share a new perspective on the dynamics of immigration and diversity, ever reminding us that together we are all at the core of innovation, excellence, and positive change. Visit OrbitLawPLLC.com for upcoming topics.
And we are back on air with Dr. Pat Show, and I am obviously not Dr. Pat. I'm Claire Candy Hough, filling in for Dr. Pat today. And I would love for you to call in for a free mini angel reading from myself and my lovely angelic family, the Posse of Angels. And by the way, I do get a lot of people asking me why I call them the Posse of Angels. And I did not give them this moniker. They came to me in 2003, and they said, "We are your angelic family," as I am Angel Ariel incarnate in the body of Claire Candy Hough through my walk-in experience in 2003. This is my family, and they said, "We are the Posse of Angels. We go before you, beside you, behind you. We are always with you." So they named themselves. If you would like to call in for a free mini angel reading with myself, angel practitioner Claire Candy Hough, and those Posse of Angels, please call into the show on 1-800-930-2819. And let's see who we have on the line. Just while that name is coming up, just a reminder for those who would like to receive an in-depth hour and a half revealing channeled insights and messages to help with clarity and direction, health, love, careers, finances, you name it. You can always book your hour and a half individualized personal angel reading with me, either in my Los Angeles office or nationally or internationally using phone and Skype at the lovely Angel Healing House. And that number to book your session is 831-277-3716. Let's go to Margot. Margot is in Bellevue, Washington, it looks like. Margot, you're on the line. What is your question?
Hi. I'm working on a project, and it's taken quite a lot longer than these projects usually take, and it just seems like at every turn I'm hitting up against obstacles. I was wondering if you had any insight to that.
Okay. The first thing I'm asking them is, are you? Whenever we experience obstacles, Margot, it's for two reasons. They're saying either not now or never, and I'm asking them to differentiate between that. Is this project a goer? And they're saying yes, and it was divinely held back. They're saying they're very happy about this project, by the way. Because you followed your heart, you felt excited about it, but either it slowed down. Well, we're in a Mercury retrograde, of course, and we're also at Christmas time. But they're saying that they like this project very much. They like your enthusiasm. They like your heartfelt vibrations towards this, and they're saying your higher self really would not have wanted this project to manifest in all of its glory before now, because all the players and all the pieces weren't the most miraculous that they could have been. And I know it takes patience for great things to blossom and to be realized. But they're saying that all those puzzle pieces are putting into place. And in order for it to be as extraordinary as it could be. Let's go to the cards and see what comes out around Margot's project. How long ago did you start this project, Margot?
About a year ago.
About a year ago. It's the reason that I'm asking you that is because there are so many people with the turnover of 2016 that we started to get really clear about those things that spoke to our hearts, and we actioned it. And now, going into 2017, we will see the realization of that. The first card that you're getting is the Lover's card, and this could be kissy face, and this could be intimacy, but in this respect, because you've asked about your project, it is about choices, and those choices will be shown to you as you get into 2017. And a great card. It'll be financially remunerating you. There'll be a monetary success because you get the Queen of Pentacles. And the next one, hold on to your keister, you got two queens. This is you in authority, in leadership, in this role, in this project. This does really bode well for this. So I'm wishing you so much success with this. And lots of lots of love and really stop trying to figure life out, Margot. Life was never meant to be, and this is for everybody and me. Life was never meant to be figured out. Allow yourself to experience the joy, like the wonder of a child, to see how this unfolds. So I'm sending you so much love. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And we are going to our next caller. Our next caller is Phyllis, and Phyllis is in Kirkland, Washington. Yes, Phyllis, what is your question?
Hi. Well, actually, my question is, my business, am I going to be able to be financially independent and stand on my own 2 feet soon? I've been saying to everybody that I've been starting my new business, and it's been a year now. And like you were saying, I mean, in 2016, I was the bird jumping out of the nest. I had to leap, and I've left off into my own, and now I'm needing to, really take care of myself financially, and for all the joy and freedom of choice and security that having, free-flowing finances, sustainable income that is more than just survival mode. That's what I'm wondering about, because then I feel like I'll have a better basis. Oh, no, that's not true. I was going to say, then romance and stuff like that can all flow, but that can happen right now too. So that's
absolutely.
My question. How am I on the right? Am I headed in the right direction?
Oh, Phyllis, they're showing me, they're throwing their arms around you. They love your enthusiasm. They love your passion. and they're saying the one thing that you have not done is give yourself credit for how far you have come. And it's making me feel like crying. Your road was not easy. And for you to rise above so many things and to bring them back in alignment was a very tough road, they're saying. So give yourself credit for how far you've come. And they're saying, yes, my beloved Phyllis. They're saying, you stepped forward. You were the little bird that went out of the nest. You've spread your wings. And because the universe desires only what we desire, you will be rewarded in 2017. But they're reminding you to take your emphasis off the how and the when of this happening, because they want you to be surprised. And the first thing that I heard when I saw your number was, come to me as a child. Allow yourself to be in awe and enchantment and wonder as to how this is going to unfold. They're also reminding you that you're more protected, you're more guided, and you are more loved than you ever could possibly imagine. So watch for those signs. The only thing that's going to get the better of you, fellas, is that you're impatient. That's the thing that's going to be. That's your undoing, and that's what most people's undoing is they want it now, they want it yesterday, and for it to turn out, it's very similar to Margot's reading, the first caller. In order for it to turn out as miraculous and as beautiful as a magnificent portrait that you possibly could ever imagine, or even more than you could imagine, is for us to let go of what it finally looks like. And they're saying, yes, yes, yes. It will be a success, and all you need to do is keep following those signs of God and what God and the angels are sending you. The first card coming out for you is the Six of Swords. And great confirmation here, because this is the rowing to smoother waters card. They're showing on one side where he's coming from. The waters have been turbulent, but the horizon is clear, and the waters are clear. And this this could also be a card in which you'll be traveling. I don't know if what you've done and created will require some traveling, but they're saying that there's movement. There's movement around this, and that's a great confirmation. The next card that's coming out for you is the Three of Swords. Now, the Three of Swords is usually the heartbreak card. Over the next couple of weeks, they want you to make sure that you are squeaky clean, that you've brought all of your past relationships, all of your feelings back to totally just unconditional love and forgiveness. And this way, your new project can flourish without any negativity around it. And the next card is the Emperor card. And I love the Emperor card. He's got a very different energy than a king, because a king gets his place because of birth, but an emperor gets in his place of rulership because the people love him, because he's just, because he's diplomatic, because he's kind. And that's why your project will be a success. So they're saying, hang in there. You will blossom. You will succeed in 2017, and just keep following the signs that the angels are giving you, which can only be seen in the present moment. So I hope it's been helpful for you, Phyllis.
Oh wow! Thank you so much. I'm encouraged.
And also, I would love to hear where your path leads you in 2017. So you can always call my Angel Healing House radio program, which is starting on Transformation Talk Radio, or you can always send me an email to Candy, which is CANDY @angelhealinghouse.com.
Angelhealinghouse.com.
Yep.
Thank you.
Have a beautiful, blessed, beloved New Year. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Isn't that interesting, everyone? 2 callers, both about projects, and both about business or projects. And, yeah, it's just been an amazing year. How many of us were like that little bird. We felt like, oh, my gosh, it's just things are too confined for us. Things are too cramped. And then we went about creating something different. I felt for a long time that after 5 years, my Angel Healing House radio program had gotten too small for Blog Talk Radio, and I know not to push the river in the opposite direction to what it flowed, and I asked the angels to send me a sign. And about 2.5 months ago, I got a random email from Transformation Talk Radio, which said, we've been listening to your show, we love what you do, and we would love for you to host your show on Transformation Talk Radio. And bingo, starting anew next week. So remember, you can call in for those free angel readings. You can call into the show on 1-800-930-2819. Now, while we're waiting and seeing if there's going to be any other callers calling in, at the beginning of the show, we were speaking about painting this beautiful new portrait of your life. And the Posse of Angels, they do have a funny sense of humor. They were saying that perhaps you can choose to paint like Picasso. I don't know if many of you are familiar with Picasso, but he said you can choose to paint people that look like dogs. He painted people that look like dogs, especially if he didn't like them. Or perhaps you can choose to paint like a Michelangelo and grace a cathedral with your talent and go paint your own Sistine Chapel. But it's good to emulate others. You know, when you copy somebody, it's the highest form of flattery. But regardless of whose work you are drawn to and admire in the world of art, the Posse of Angels are suggesting that you stay true to the greatest artist of them all, which would be yourself. Because, you know, listeners, each and every one of us has been endowed with the soul of an artist, and it was actually written into our DNA, and it was decreed by God that we are inherently abundant with creative skills. This is because each and every one of us was born pure potential as powerful co-creators. So remember, when you get your new easel out, your new brushes, and your new attitude, remember when you're painting this year, coming year in 2017, and you're being creative, allow yourself to be free and remain youthful and connected to the child within. Now, this inner child of us is so important. In this way, when we're connected to the child within, our portraits will present the enchantment of life and never get staid and never get boring. By remaining connected to the child within, we never stop looking for the extraordinary. We never really stop looking for the magic in life and the wonder of this human existence and the miracle of it. And when we consciously look for the magic in our lives and we actually paint it into our portraits, then it has a magical way of then manifesting in our reality. You know, the laws of cause and effect, the laws of like attracts like. If we paint the magic in, then it will appear in our reality. You know, as we take a look back into 2016, we can really comprehend now that it was co-creating with God and the angels the life that we may be looking back on now. And that should just show us how powerful we truly are. Let's go to our next caller. I see that we've got Mark from Seattle. You are on the line with Angel Healing House Radio and Claire Candy Hough. What is your question?
Hi, Candy. Thanks so much for talking to me. I'm kind of directionless for the next upcoming year, and what I've been doing is been calling on talk shows, tarot card reader, and people like that. They all kind of say the same thing. You're going in the right direction, but I don't know what that direction is. And
okay.
Can you give me a little hint about, like, where's my goal? Where's my final goal that I'm actually going to?
Okay. Well, you can't get to that final goal if you're not wholly present in the nanosecond of the now. So they want you to take your vision off of that final point. It's good to have goals, but the goals will only be realized with the energy that we put in to the present moment. So the number one thing that they want you to know, Mark, is they want you to follow your passion. Follow what makes you happy. Follow, even if you can't logically figure it out, even if you can't rationally figure it out, it's your heart telling you in which direction to go, because your abundance and prosperity will come from either directly from that or indirectly from that, and that's the magic of life. Stop trying to figure it out. Life was never meant to be figured out. It was meant to be lived. And the more we do that with creativity and passion and enthusiasm, then the more the answers or the signs show up for us. Also, the angels have said that they have been trying to send you signs, but because it doesn't rationally make sense, you keep discounting it. Okay?
I am intuitive, but I kind of don't recognize it until actually after the event happens. And I say, whoa, I kind of knew that a little bit ahead of time.
Okay, and you know what? That's how we all learn to walk, because we crawled and we scooted along the furniture and we fell over, and the angels will send us a sign, and if we miss it, glory be, they will send it to us again. So they want you to take your focus off that final line, which is when we all cross over, but they want you to take your emphasis off the finality of life and put it on your pure potential just in this present moment. Let's go to the cards and see what comes out for our lovely Mark. And they're saying that you have so much passion inside of you. They want you to release what you think you should be doing, or your expectations. That's what they're saying. Release your expectations and attachments, and then you'll open up for magic to come in your life. When I say to you about those things that excite you, does something come to mind about what it is that you love doing?
Well, I do get involved in things like I like fishing a lot, so I get very deeply involved. I learn all about lakes, I learn all about fish, and then after a period of time, 5 or 7 years, I drop it and go on something brand new because I like to learn things. So I do know very well, like what you're saying, is you walk into life and you experience things around you instead of saying, I'm here to do something, but I don't know what it is yet. But I'm surrounded by all this stuff I see right by the place. It's like I don't take advantage of opportunities. It's kind of like that.
Yes, and that's what
experience. I don't experience. I don't really feel it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. That's exactly what they're saying. That you're holding yourself back because of expectations. They want you to come to life as a child. That's what they want you to do. Do something. They want you to be more adventurous. They want you to be more curious. They want you to let go of any preconceived ideas of what your life should look like. And so with this curiosity, it's going to lead you to beautiful places, they're saying. The first card for you is the Page of Wands. Now, this is allowing your creativity, your vision, your ideas, all of these things to go out into the world and to be heard by others. And share your vision with others with great enthusiasm. The next card that comes in is the Three of Pentacles. And this one is, once you do that and share yourself with others with no restriction and no expectation, then the Three of Pentacles is that being remunerated for your gifts and your talents. People will recognize you. They will want to promote you and support you. And the third card that's coming out for you, and isn't this wonderful? This is the Fool. And the Fool is about following the inner child. That's great confirmation about the Posse of Angels wishes, about you following your inner child. And in this way, it will lead you to those miraculous events and opportunities and connections. So put your vision more on that, having fun and experiencing wonderful things in your life. I hope it's been helpful for you, Mark.
Yep, so I'm supposed to be more bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Absolutely. Have a beautiful 2017. God bless you. Take care.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye. And with only about 2 minutes left, that just about wraps up the Dr. Pat show for today. I'd like to thank those callers for calling in. Thank you for tuning into the program. Thank you to those who are listening to the archive show. Now, don't forget that Angel Healing House Radio is going to be on its new home of Transformation Talk Radio, and its first show will be on January the 3rd, 2017. So funny to say that, which is actually next week. How bizarre is that to say that? And it's going to be at the new time of 9 a.m., that's Pacific Standard Time, and the format will be always the channeled messages from the Posse of Angels, and then you can call in for those free angel readings. You know, if you'd like to receive my beautiful channeled books at angelhealinghouse.com, Angels of Faith, and the newly released I Am an Angelic Walk-In, please go to www.angelhealinghouse.com. So until next time, everyone, please allow your absolutely beautiful light within to shine forth and to go out and fashion a beautiful life for yourself. Love and, as always, angel blessings, and have an amazing 2017, everyone. Take care. Bye.